Ah, that's better. I just wanted to say good morning to all my friends and family out there, who are my artist friends as much as they are my friendly friends. I can tell you right now, I'm not liking this, oops. I'm not liking this pen. So I'm gonna take the cap off, put the cap back on like this, shut it nice and tight. That way it doesn't come off easily, right? Mm-hmm. You want to put this pen somewhere else where it's not gonna give the other pens like bad ideas and stuff. So you just want to like, there it goes. It's gone. Okay. Let's see if we can do some damage here. Damage control. Oh shit. Wrong. Sorry. Wrong crowd. Everybody's like, it's too early in the morning for this shit. I'm too old and it's too early in the morning for this shit. To which I reply, oh my god, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. 100%. But it's never too late to draw. When you draw, the world draws with you. Have you ever known that? Well, now you do. And if you can't, you must. It's just how it is. So, this is a drawing I started yesterday morning around this time, I guess. And I just wanted to hang out with you guys and just draw with you. We're all friends here. If you have coffee, have a sip. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. On that note, oh shit. Bad jokes. Dad, bad jokes all day. So right now I'm trying to draw a duck. I got a little sidetracked, and now it's more like a a psychedelic. It's not even real. I don't even think it's real, folks. But I sure do like to watch it being created. Because I get to sit in the back with a big bag of popcorn and just watch. Like I've said before, there's something about it that comes out of nowhere. And I've managed to be able to grab onto it when I want to, you know. Whereas I used to be just a passive observer in my creative world. But now there's something I can just latch right onto and just suck dry. Like a little vampire child that I am. No, I just mean, when you're in the zone, when you just let the cosmic artist take over. Is that Hermes? It's not Hermes, is it? Mercury? I don't think so. I'm just saying things to sound smart. But it's a start. I was flipping through this little journal here, and I noticed that the first drawing or something like that is from 20. I think I bought this thing when what was it, 2018 or something? 2017 maybe? It still has a ton of paper in it, so I just wanted to draw on it. Imagine that. And I'll connect that little synapse right there. Make a little eyeball right there. You never have too many eyes. Because when you're doing something weird like this, the eyes will pop out, and like you're the viewer, whatever, your eyes will latch onto eyes in here. And I think the more eyes, the better, because then it'll change the perspective of it. Because your eyes will see two eyes here, and then one eye will move over here, and then this one will change, and this one. So I feel like that's another way to make your art constantly change if you are into sort of more abstract, surrealist stuff like I am. I can draw something if I look at it, kind of, but I'm not like, I'm not super good at it, but I've done some good renderings in my time, but it's this kind of stuff that really, well, it puts my goat on the float, you know. And I'm not even mad dog driving you right there. I'm just being myself about it. I would never lie to you again. Ever again. Sorry. Can you see it? I know you can't see the detail maybe, but how is there 6 people watching it? Or is that negative? Oh, that's a -6. Oh, man, I gotta hustle here. A hustle here and a hustle there, everywhere, hustle in the underwear. You just gotta kind of trust yourself too, and let go. It's the only time in my stupid life that I can actually, art is the only way that I've ever been able to let go and forget that the world even is out there. Because that's why I try to make it so much, because I distract myself from reality with it. And when I say distract, I mean hide like a little coward. So there's always that, but there's always this ambitious aspect of my personality also that wants to get beyond that kind of nonsense. It's difficult when you just fall into all these patterns, or when you're coming out of the patterns and you're coming out of like thinking that you have to do what society and everybody else seems to tell you to do, even though they're fucking miserable and have nothing to offer the world. And yet they're the biggest critics of you and what you're trying to accomplish. Or they're the gatekeepers that keep you from even being able to show your work. Tear you down before they even give you a shot. That's the point of it all, friends. They dehumanize you, and then they label you, and then they think they have power over you, but they forget that power is in the name. And they can't. If they take away your name, they make you stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. That's why I change my name often, so as to hide in plain sight. And art helps me do that. I can honestly say it has saved my life. Probably many times over. But it shows you things, man. It shows you things. Does anybody have any questions? Absolutely none. Quite surprised. Usually at 5:34 in the morning, I usually get a bundle of questions. A gaggle of gastral queries, inquiries. Who cares? I'm on a mission from God. And this is my one-way ticket to limbo, where I'm gonna dance with my friends all night long in limbo. Limbo, 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 here we come. What's today? Is today Monday? Please don't tell me it's Sunday. What? What the devil? Salute. All I'm saying is if you're gonna be abstract, just go all the way. Throw some eyeballs in there, some testicles. I can't even pronounce the word, it's so gross. But never, ever, ever not not be yourself. Wait, what? Do never, ever be not yourself. That's what Shakespeare said on his deathbed in 1933. He was very old or I'm very wrong. Either way, it's true. Then you put a little spiral on the testicle knuckle, and you call it a day. You know, that's just boom right there, and that's how you get an abstract duck. I've got an abstract duck on the front of my truck. I don't give up about the duck. Hey, duck. What's up, honey? What you doing over there, duck? Oh, I'm just chilling over here, quacking around. Yeah, that's what I could tell. You want to sing a song about it? Sure, honey. What you want to sing about ducks? Well, it goes like this. I got a duck here and a duck there. I got a duck in my underwear. I got a ducky here. I got a ducky in the tree. A ducky under you and me. I'm going to the duck land today. Drink get some water and eat some hay. Gonna hang out with the horse in the field. We're gonna duck land today. Everybody's going to home after church. We're gonna go out to the pasture in Duckland. It's my favorite place on earth. It is. It's my favorite place on earth. It is my favorite place on earth. That was one of my hit songs. It was used to be on the radio back in 1902. Back before radio even existed. That's how popular it was. Never underestimate the power of art or the deception of lies. Or both. Oh, I think the garbage truck is out there. This would be a great place to get loud on my guitar. It's weird being out in the country and just hearing a garbage truck out in the middle of nowhere. You hear it? Does anybody want me to go out there and ask them if they can pull anything out of the trash for you? I will. Oh, I will. I've done it before. I've done much more for much less, I'll tell you that much. Oh gosh, my back. I need to get used to sleeping on that bed. That pen's going bye-bye. Oh, ooh, I think this pen is fresh. Oh, a little bit. Drawing some kind of little horn there. Let me try to get you closer. A little bit better? You don't have to see me so much. A little bit better. Right now, I'm creating stuff and doing things with stuff. I went to school for it back K through 12. Yeah, it was those were my primary learning years for doing this kind of stuff. Quiet out loud, right in the middle of nowhere. I would do it, and nobody would even see me do it. I'd be out in the middle of an orchard doing it, smoking those cigarettes, drawing up some of the most dark and disturbing comics you might ever even think you'd ever even seen in your whole day in life. Those were the days when art was dangerous. Or if my daddy caught some of the shit that I was drawing, he would have whipped my hide. He ended up kicking me out of the house anyways. He didn't have to kick me out, he just moved to Oregon. Left me in California. Life is a country song. Okay, I need to dig back here and get some pens. I'm getting mighty frustrated. I've got a million pens, but a bitch ain't one. I said that very loud. It is very early in the morning. Son of a bitch. Seriously, is this the only one shot? You son of a goddamn stupid son of a... Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I just hope this pen works. Because if not, we're fucked. Other than that, everything's fine. Other than that, everything's fine. Can I even go upside down? With this stupid, silly son of a gun. Man, I learned how to disappear easily from a very early age. And it was just simply sitting down and drawing, and everything else around you just disappeared. Cemeteries and park benches. I would ride miles just to find a spot that I liked, that I knew, where I could go and not be bothered by another human for hours. And most of the time, those little havens are just out in the middle of an orchard, or you go to the edge of an orchard or something, and there's like a creek, and you have to climb down this steep thing, but then you get down to this wonderful little spot where no one else is going to touch you, like, all frickin' day. And so I would just sit there and write poetry and draw stupid drawings and smoke cigarettes. I think back then I smoked Marlboro Reds. And being able to, when I was a teenager, I'm talking about when I was like 15, 16. This would have been 1995, 1996. My brother had just gone into the army, so I didn't have I was kind of just alone. I didn't have many friends. And that was one of the first times in my life I had just actually, I've told this story before, but my sisters around this time actually, geez. Wow, yeah. Because I ran away from my dad's house when I was 15 on March 15th, 1995. My dad's like a cop. He was a cop at the time, and I was just saying this last night, but he was at an Aikido lesson. He went to Aikido lessons in Chico, and he was taught by one of the dudes who was a direct pupil of Steven Seagal. It's fucking crazy. So even back in the 90s, my dad would call Steve, even that because we had all the movies and stuff, and he would call him Sensei Seagal. It was just like, even back then, that was just the cheesiest thing to me. I'm like, why are you doing that, dude? Don't do that. But, it's kind of funny now. It was just kind of funny looking back then. So, yeah, my dad was at an Aikido lesson, and my dad's the kind of person where he would go and get Aikido lessons, but he wouldn't bring his boys with him. He wouldn't pay for lessons for his son to go with him or something like that. He was just, everything was for him and him alone, and he never, no kind acts ever came from that guy. Back then anyways. And I'm saying, like, to, you know, like, the funny story of him and my stepmom coming into the kitchen, and my stepbrother Jared and I are sitting there, and we're both like, I'm like 14 or something, Jared's like 13, and they're like, guys, we want to tell you something, and they were all like straight faced and stuff, and they're they're like, we're going to Disneyland, right? And like Jared and I are just like, what? Oh my God, what? We're going to Disneyland? Oh my God. And we're getting all excited. And I was like, oh man, like my cousin's birthday is that week, but I'll call her from Disneyland, like as a joke, you know? But then like my dad, they were like, no, 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 no. We are going to Disneyland. And they were like pointing at themselves, and then they got all straight faced again, and they realized that it sounded kind of awful, and like they had given up our hopes, and they just started like getting like yelling at us because like they said we were ungrateful for even like it's a long story, but they went to Disneyland and they like left us behind with Jared's grandma. It's like the craziest thing. It's like, why not just lie and say you were going to anywhere else besides like Disneyland? And there was this excuse that they took us to Great America about a year before that, and we apparently like they were like, well, we took you guys to Great America, and afterwards you never said thank you, and that was their big reason why they weren't taking us to Disneyland, like some kind of weird punishment. I don't even know. Anyways, I just think that's kind of funny too. My dad and I actually get along pretty well now. He's just like an old cowboy that lives in Eastern Oregon, has a bunch of cows and horses and stuff. But back then we were like, he was just like the antithesis of everything I couldn't stand about men and macho, especially just like macho people who um abuse their authority essentially. Because anyways, yeah. And he's definitely the reason why I have an issue with authority, or I question authority, even though that's just a God-given right. But people forgot about that, just to question stuff, didn't they? They were just people are nowadays are just so happy to be led by the nostrils. You'll taste this and you'll like it. Drink this. What is it? You don't ask questions. Just drink it. Okay. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only true freedom you have is to be yourself and to make up your own mind when it comes to things. Never let anybody tell you who to be, what to think, ever. And never be so quick to think that you understand it all or understand anything at all, ever. Because you're always going to be changing. You're always going to be shifting. It's important to have a ground, like to have standards and stuff, but, you know, you have to be malleable in other ways because people are different and you are everybody. Everybody's, it's hard to imagine it like this, but like, I've been trying to more and more lately where, the guy tailgating me or the stupid lady at the grocery store blocking me or whatever, it's just like, they're all versions of me. They're all just we're all versions of each other. We all perceive each other out of the corner of their eye. They're peripherally like viewing me and categorizing me and memorizing me for their dreams or like for the afterlife of some kind. Maybe they believe in God, maybe they don't. Maybe maybe it all means nothing. But we're all here at the same time and it's kind of crazy. And there's something different. There's something going on more than just, oh yep, we're all just here. We're all just floating around in pea soup, waiting to be dead. It just doesn't that just doesn't sit well with me. And if it sits well with others, I guess I'm okay with that. And I'll never tell people to, believe a certain way or not. But that works both ways as well. Because I used to be really close-minded when it came to the magic or the spirituality or whatever, I guess, of this life until I started opening my stupid brain a little bit more in the most basic, simplest of ways too. And realizing how close-minded I was and how wrong I've been. And then once you start doing that, once you open the gates of honesty and you can be honest with yourself truly, that's when you'll start seeing things shifting in your life. And sometimes it hurts at first because you have to plunge all this crap out first. You know, you got to purge yourself. You know, you got to be ready for that, and just not expect it to be really easy. It's gonna take a lot of time. But what else are you gonna do? You know, I just got tired of blaming everybody for my mistakes and not even realizing that's what I was doing, including myself. You know, I hold myself back more than anything, and I think that I'm this, like, you know, free-willed, strong-spirited kind of person. Like, I don't take shit from. I don't really think like this, but in general ways, I guess. You know, when it comes to like what I believe in, I can't be shaken, but I have been, and I've learned before that I thought that I was right where I was very wrong, and I have prejudices, and I judge people, and I look at situations, and I assume things way before I have even any shred of information to you know, or evidence to, like, you know, it's just, it's weird once you shine a light on the shadow, that's when you can start integrating with it and using it against itself. And then you become, again, stronger than you were. You become stronger than you ever were. I sound like one of those, like, have you ever woken up and wondered, how come you're such a little bitch? Well, I'm here to tell you today with these 3 easy steps how you can get out of being a little bitch. Step 1, wake up, bitch. I don't know. It's, and then they have this, like, it's like these stoic principles set to this very, you know, English voice. Like, have you ever walked the plank of stoicism? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I'm just babbling. Lo siento to my Spanish-speaking friends. I wish I spoke more Spanish. I simply don't. Look at my skin. I'm very Caucasianoid. And, you know, do with that what you will. I mean, I wasn't trying to hide it. I am what I am. You are what you are. But I also have you know, do you remember that movie Krull? Krull, Krull, Krull. Yeah, I do. Well, I think that was a brilliant movie, and I have one of those little boomerang things. So I was hoping to sell it on eBay. So if anybody here wants to buy it, that would be great because I need money. Money. Let's talk about money. Okay. What what is money? Um, Money is paper? No. Is there an answer to this question? No. Okay, well, I don't want to play this game then. Can we talk about something else? Money! How come you're being so loud about it? Don't be yelling money at me. Oh my god, there's a lot of comments. How come my phone isn't showing any comments? I use it as a thing, and it's not even thing in the thing. Dang it. I thought I was on top of it. How do I even do that on here? Where is the... Hold on, let me read some of these. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. I didn't even realize. Hi, Pastor. Hi, Joe. Hi, B. Hello, good morning. Hasim. Alahasawi. Hi. Good for you to be here, my friend. Where everyone is welcome, even if you have a badass name like yours. Okay. Pastor. Is it crisp at least? I'm in a new space now, where I can actually even put my location in the thing. For some reason, over at my other place, I couldn't do that. But is it at least clear and not like pixeled? Sounds like a couple of rays, but well, that was my stepmom and my dad. If you're referring to the Disneyland incident. I forgot where I was even going with that conversation because they were just that was just such a funny Because that was the same. Those were the same people, like my dad and my stepmom, who left me in California for long periods of time without money in this ranch like 5 miles outside of town, without money or a fucking can opener to even open the only cans of food that we had in the house, which was like cream of mushroom and stuff. Like they straight up just like moved to Oregon and left me there with nothing. And and I was a 17-year-old trying to finish high school, and I sucked at high school. I don't even know how I fucking graduated or I got my diploma, but um, it was a very, very tumultuous period, to say the least. And then I ended up having to move in with a friend of mine and his mom for the last like month of high school because my dad, they just moved all the time, all that year. My dad just, he was just, like I said, we get along now, so this is all just history. But what was it? And I know a lot of people have had it worse. I'm not trying to fucking, you know, I'm not trying to compare trauma or anything like that. I hate when people assume that because my dad didn't whip me with barbed wire, that I don't that my shit ain't valid. But like, cause there was a lot of shit. I have tapes from when I was like 2 years old and him telling me to shut my fucking mouth, like when I was trying to sing and stuff like that. You shut your fucking mouth, boy. And apparently that was his favorite thing to say to us as kids, and to me especially. So it's amazing that I even sing or even learned how to play music or write songs thanks to that fucking guy. But I think what happened with me was that thing I've always talked about, the thing that I tap into, the zone, the cosmic awe. It's something that's always there, and that there wasn't no way no human was gonna shake that out of me. It was just inevitable. And even back then, art was the most important thing in the world to me, and it saved me many times over. I went into some dark places when I was a kid. My dad had many guns. I could have been like one of those first school shooter kids. Like I used to write horrible shit on pieces of paper on the back of like homework and turn them in to the teacher, just like these weird fantasies I had, and so bad that they fucking had the principal and guidance counselor talk to me about it and stuff. This was probably like 1994, 1995 or something. And then it's like I saw and I heard about the fucking people that actually would go in and hurt people. And then obviously that was a few years after this, but there was, I mean, that's why it's hard being a human, because once you realize that you're not your thoughts, like it all comes crashing in again, and then you have to realize or figure out who you are then, if you're not your thoughts, and what it means to be alive. Sometimes in a world that doesn't seem to even care that you exist, you know. And these are lessons we all have to learn. And some of us are gifted with wonderful parents. My mom's fucking awesome. We had our moments growing up and this and that, but even, and again, like I was a kid when a lot of this stuff happened, but I was treated as an adult from the age of 12 on because the courts allowed me to. At 12, you can choose who you want to live with, or at least you could back then. And so I jumped back and forth a lot because I couldn't, you know, choose. Sometimes my dad was cool and my mom was a little bit off or something, or my stepdad was kind of awful. So I would just jump back and forth, but I heard holy hell from everybody about it, and I was blamed for everything. So when I finally did leave around the age of 18 for good, for Oregon, I it made it easy to leave because everybody hated me and I was homeless. All things that were in within my control though, and in my periphery, like nothing back then surprised me. Because I even back then I kind of knew, even subconsciously, that I had control over what was happening. This is as selfish and narcissistic as it sounds or whatever, it's sometimes in order to survive you want to know how your story ends, and you don't want it to end too soon, even if you think dark thoughts about it. And art has always been the thing where it's surprised me every time I do it, where it keeps me grounded, and it's besides the ocean and graveyards, it's the only thing that just sort of sometimes, most of the time, quiets my brain. And it's just an ancient gift. It's something that we've always done. Not all of us, but most of us. And those who usually don't make art are the people who admire it the most, I have found. Because sometimes I'll look at one of my pieces and I think it's a piece of shit, or it really is. It's just you know, it's a piece of shit that I just grabbed and molded together. Look like Mr. Hanky, put a little hat on it and stuff. And somebody comes walking by and they're like, "Oh my God, how much do you want for it?" And that's the power of art right there. It can be literal shit and people still just want to buy it. Money, 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 friends. That's what it's all about. That's how. Oh, stupid. Anyways, yeah. My dad had it. My dad had a really bad dad as well. My grandpa was a bastard. I love my grandpa because of how I knew him and what I knew of him and what he taught me. He taught me how to draw certain things, and I would study his drawings a lot as a kid. And I'm talking as a kid, like 3 years old and stuff. Because my grandpa was a doodler, and they're all cowboys. On my dad's side, everybody's cowboys and cops and shit. It was just wild. And so, like, my grandpa always was drawing horses and cowboys and just pieces of paper on everything he did. There was just doodles everywhere. And old ones, too, from when he was a kid. And he was supposed to go to the Art Institute of uh, Chicago. Like one of those, they wanted him to be a teacher. He was so good, an art teacher, but he turned it down in order to work for PG&E the rest of his life. And he was a fucking draftsman, that guy. But he was also just a big bastard. Very angry man. So I can't even imagine what my great grandpa was like then. And that's the kind of stuff that I learned too, or at least try to keep in mind now, more than ever, is that if I can empathize with somebody like my dad and be like, yeah, man, my dad, he might have, been a dick to me and done stupid shit, but look at his example, you know. He would complain about the very stuff that my grandpa did to him while he was doing it to us. Like dragging us into town after I'd been growing my hair out all year from my senior year in high school and getting it chopped off because he found out that I had smoked a cigarette. I had my hair down to my shoulders and he went and just buzzed it all off right before I graduated. And it was like a Shaolin monk or something like that, man. That was just like, he just took my soul from me. And that's my pop. But my grandpa used to do that to him. So he didn't know any other way. He just never learned. I feel like if I had a kid, I would think back and be like, "Oh, yeah, that's what I shouldn't do. I want to drive my kid into town right now and terrorize him and shame him for something as small as something that I used to even do, because I used to smoke cigarettes. But maybe I shouldn't." But that's where the buck stops. It stops with me. My brother, even though we don't talk, he's a good dad. My brother Gabe. He has a kid. I don't think he ever spanked her or ever even. I'm sure he raised his voice, but he was just. In most ways, he seems like he was a pretty good dad. So it's just nice. I don't know when cycles end, because I don't have kids. They're all grown up. They moved out. I'm still here. Oh, hey, Barry. Oh, Barry Grubb is still here, everybody. Yep, just sleeping away. Didn't even see you back there, buddy. Good night, sucker. Oh, I used to call him sucker child as a kid. Don't ask me why. 'Cause I used to go outside and cut the suckers out from the roots of the trees and then whip you with them on the back of your legs. Oh, that's right, sucker root. That's right. It was a two-parter name. Now I remember. You little bastard. You little child. Go back to sleep now. I'll make pancakes in the morning. All right. Okay, I'm back, folks. I'm sorry. I had to deal with my kid. I'm 73. Yeah, I know. Barry, I know. Christ. I know, Christ. But you're not that old, Barry. Come on. Now he's joshing us. Now he's just trying to look cool. Look cool, stay in school. I'm just bringing that little thing up there. Right there. Boom. But you know, something funny too is if this is kind of funny, but like one of the first times I found out that I was attracted to um men was when because my stepmom and my dad left for Disneyland and left my stepbro's grandma Betty to watch us. And Betty was like super hip and like way into the theater and all sorts of cool shit. And she would let Jared watch whatever the hell he wanted, and she would buy him anything he wanted. Anyways, just like comic books. So he had comic books and movies and Sega Genesis, all this stuff, you know. Whereas my dad didn't ever buy us a console at all. So like when Jared came, we were like, what the fuck? You have a Nintendo and a Sega and all this stuff and Game Boys, and it was insane. And yeah, so this they were gone for a week that week, you know. And had I gone with them, I probably never would have watched Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I swear to God, I was so freaking confused after I watched that movie, because I was so attracted to Tim Curry, I could not even believe it. And there was nobody I could tell. Maybe my stepbrother. I'm sure maybe we talked about it, maybe, but I don't even know if I ever even talked about that side of myself back then. Because where I'm from, even like my friends would say if I ever came out, you know, if they ever thought that I was gay or something like that, they would like, you know, beat me up and stuff or whatever. I had great friends. I grew up out in the country and it was just a bunch of farmers and they didn't take kindly to people like me. But I didn't, yeah, I don't know. It was difficult being me sometimes for those reasons. But yeah. But yeah, so we watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I was definitely attracted to Tim Curry's character, and I just had to keep it hush hush for a long time. But had I gone to Disneyland, I probably never would have seen that movie, and it never would have opened that part of my brain up even more, you know, and given me like a big, because this was the '90s, there was no internet, so I couldn't like Google shit and be like, what is a transvestite, you know, or whatever. Not that I even would have done that, I wouldn't even known. But I was introduced to a whole lot when Betty came, and she never even knew it. And it's just funny to think. I would have been in Disneyland, and I probably would have just been like a normal boy for a little bit longer. Still very confused. But without those visuals. Anyways, I know I'm not alone there. It's a whole generation of people that probably had to go through that crap. And still do. I'm talking about the movie mostly. Anyways, sorry. Just babbling. Just babbling. Sorry. Okay. think too, a lot of my life I've spent, back then there was my uncle who I pretty much left down here as well because I moved here right after high school. Um, Pretty domineering dude as well. Couldn't stand me. And um, my stepdad, he was pretty open-minded, but still, you know, said horrible stuff. But he's the one that got me into rock and roll, and he's a very smart dude, but just kind of, he was an alcoholic back then and all this stuff. But then my dad too. So the three main men in figures or whatever, father figure type guys in my life were kind of difficult. So I spent a lot of my time in my 20s and maybe even in my 30s too, to a degree, um, trying to prove them wrong, because they were always telling me that wasn't going to be what I claimed or what I was shooting to be, which was back then mostly like a musician, some kind of Renaissance artist, I guess, maybe like in that I did all sorts of stuff. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to make movies and do soundtracks and have a band and make art and all this stuff. I wasn't really focused. I just wanted to do everything. But anyways, even as a teenager, I was just very prolific, and I would draw kind of obsessively, and people just didn't know what to do, like with it, with that to a degree, or the third degree. Um, but anyways, yeah. So and then it kind of, as I'm getting older now, obviously it's and my I don't know. It's hard to say because when you think you're unsuccessful, you're I don't know. I have this crazy way of ignoring the good things in my life as they're happening and thinking that there's some great grand thing on the way without even realizing that sometimes that great grand thing is already there and has always been there. And all you got to do is just look and just stop and or let go of what's keeping you from seeing it. Like success for that matter. I kind of there's a part of me that's I don't understand why or where it comes from, but there's a part of me that's very competitive for some reason. And in the weirdest ways. And I don't like that part of me, but because it creates other issues and it shines lights onto parts of my personality that are hard for me to accept. The blinders that I have on, I have a lot of blinders because I'm very selfish and narrow-minded. I'm selfish too in that I want I just I want this to be what I always do. I don't want to have to work a day job or anything like that. I make art, I make other things too, but I'm selfish in that I want to be able to be a professional artist and taken seriously and make money so then I can potentially help or, you know, what I always think about hiring my friends and things like that, or I could collaborate with people or do something bigger and better. I don't even know, but it's never like a selfish thing like, oh yeah, I want to be famous so I can be on TV or something. It's It's like I want to, and that's, I guess it's not selfish. It's just ambitious. I think ambitious is a good word. It feels like you're selfish when you're ambitious or when you have big dreams because you have to put a lot of people out or you have to ignore things. You do have to put the blinders on in order to focus. And I guess recently, you know, I have found that art is my thing. It's my calling. So it's like everything else, even including some and or most people, are just they don't fit anymore. And in order for me to be what I need to be, I have to shed even parts of myself, let alone other people, to be a better artist. Because that's the kind of artist I want to be. Because one day I'm just gonna be gone, and my work's still gonna be here, and it's still gonna be talking long after I'm dead. And I always think that that's just one of the coolest things ever. So it doesn't even matter if you get any sort of recognition in this world, anyways. Because even if it's 10 people like looking at it or something, or even if it's 100 people 100 years from now, I've made so much that it's just always going to be here. And that's why this weekend, friends, I'm asking you to if you're out there and you got a piece of my art, bring it to the big art burning this Sunday here at my place. I have a big bin. We're gonna throw all the art in it and burn it, and then at the very end, I'm gonna jump in it, and I'm just gonna go out like a Viking. I should go to the ocean and do it, but I think that'd be like kind of pollution or something. I might as well do it on my land. So I think that sounds fun. Hi, Savage. Savage. Before I came on, I was writing lyrics. I was rewriting Mother by Pink Floyd. I was just rewriting a song. Mother, do you think I right my wrongs? Mother with Mother was there to be so long. Mother, do you think they'll try to break my fall? Wall. Mother, will they break the fourth wall? I don't know where I was going with that. I was really stoned. That wasn't part of the rewrite. Anyways, I've gotta get up and do some stuff. Yeah, I just wanted to say hi. That's all. Ow. Forget when I was doing that there. That's kind of cool, I guess. Whatever. Oh, shit. That is... Oh, there's nothing there. Oh. Oh, okay, yeah, this was back in 2019. I think I know that song. That's one of my songs. I don't even know how to play it. I used to... Well, it's definitely a drawing. And then Cave was a song. Oh, this was Oddly Enough. So this was May of 2019. And then this was from when I was about 30,000 years ago. I came back in time and I saw somebody had written something on a rock. And so you can't really see it very well, but check that out. Isn't that amazing? Somebody had written that on a rock 30,000 years ago. And I brought it back to... I had to sketch it really quick. I stopped in my tracks and I sketched it out really quick. And I brought it back to the future, just so everybody could see how... Because I knew it wouldn't last long on that rock. I mean... you know. But that's where the term rock and roll came from. All right. Before it was rock and roll, it was rock and roll. Like a rock and roll, you know. So there's an adjective there. It's very descriptive. And... Oh. Oh, mm-hmm. That coffee. No. And then this is one that I think I was tripping on moon dust when I drew this one. There was a person that used to follow me. Her name was Kashal, and she used to chat on my channel. This was like maybe like 5 months ago or something. And she was every time I went live, she would just start talking to me, and she was from India, and then she just disappeared when I called her out one day, because she would say things that just didn't seem real, you know. And it's a long story, but at that day that I was drawing this, she had just made 100 followers or something like that. So I wrote Kashal made 100. Back when I used to like sort of just do random stuff like that. I think it's a kind of a cool drawing though. And then this is the one I was just working on. And that's how fast the cookie crumbles. Speaking of cookies, does anybody want one? Does anybody want a biscuit? I've got so many. Okay. Well, y'all have a good day. I'm gonna go out and feed the deer. Maybe we'll be having venison for dinner. Who knows? But that's a wrap. So you guys be careful out there today and have fun out there, and you be safe and do something fun with yourselves, because the world is your oyster. I don't know who needs to hear this, but the world is your oyster. And if you think about if you think about it, there's the little light. Oh gosh. If you think about the world being your oyster, you might as well think about it like this. I grew up under the ocean, under a rock and by a shell. There's a fish, his name was Jim, and another thing over there. Under the ocean I lived for a time. Under lost my mind, and I had to scratch my cheek to fit in with the shark once again. There's another garbage truck. It's garbage day right behind me. Garbage day. I lost my way until I found out it was garbage day. Everyone I know puts their garbage on the curb, but not today. We threw the garbage in a pit and lit it on fire and watched the birds eat dust. What was that? Dust? Oh yeah, this is my ukulele. Over there. Thought that was a bomb. Medicine, don't let me in. Medicine, don't let me in. Medicine, 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 don't let them in. Medicine, don't let them in. Medicine, medicine, medicine. Medicine, don't let me win. Medicine, don't let me win. Medicine, medicine. I learned this trick from watching Stevie Ray Vaughan videos. Watch this. See that? It's the highest note that you can hit on a guitar, except for this. It's so high you can't even hear it. Just beautiful. These are just helpful tips for you to use if you're gonna play Any sort of instrument, even if it's the skin flute. I'm telling you, I've got it all worked out for you. All you have to do is join my seminar for $25.99 a month. I broke my tuner, but luckily I can, if I'm trying to tune it, I can hold it up to my ear. Perfect pitch. Just like the lighting, it's the perfect lighting. Who would have thought? Clothing makes the man. You can lose your skin and still they stand. We drag on and on and on about some things we don't understand. Were they just too good to be true? You know the mountain sheds the trees, but without those roots, where would they be? An empire of suns that is shifting through waves I recall failed us all. Two heads are better than one. A communicable is this vibrating tongue that is so silent now that you have gone. Left us alone, we're just too good to be true. Though I hang my nostrils low, it's so silent now that no one wants to know. It's so silent now, my head's not feeling all too clean. It's so silent that now I don't have a dime. Two heads are better than one. A communicable is this vibrating tongue that is so silent now that you have gone. our skin, and still they stand. We preach on and on and on about some things don't comprehend. Were they just too good to be true? Though I hang my nostrils low, it's so silent now that no one wants control. It's so silent now, my friends are few and far between. It's so silent that now don't have a doubt against you, against you. Kind of messed that one up a little bit. But it was kind. It wasn't, I didn't meanly mess it up. I kindly messed it up. I wrote that song when I was 19. I started it when I was 19. It took me like 2 years to write the lyrics for Communicable. And I thought that would be, I think I finished the lyrics when I was 22. And I thought I was going to die right after I wrote it. Or maybe I just wanted to, who knows. I'm glad I didn't, because I wrote about 500 songs after that. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. I don't know if anybody still is, but whoever you are, I appreciate your company, and as usual, I think you're all beautiful and wonderful and deserve the world, and I hope you and those that you love are safe and well fed. Until we meet again. You take care of yourselves. If I can hit the button right, maybe. You take care of yourselves now. You take care of yourselves now. I'm gonna hit the button. God, I'm a dork.